Sure.
Alright, so what we're talking about now is mossing the topiaries. So this is what our moss comes in. It's sphagnum moss. We get it all the way from New Zealand. It's supposed to be sustainably harvested. We try to do things environmentally around here. So this year we're mixing the two since COVID has been an issue, especially with shipping across the world. So we kind of had to just mix the two and work with what we have. So what we do is we wet the moss first. So this is one time. We get it nice and super wet. It expands whenever it's wet. I'll wet this kind too. Also rips apart easier, and it's easier to move whenever it's wet. So I just kind of mix it around my hands. If you ever made biscuits with your grandma, it's kind of similar. So throw some of that in there. Some of this stuff. If you see, it has different textures. This one's lighter, this one's a bit stringier. That's why we mix the two of them. Make sure that it actually stays inside the topiary. And then we transport it to the topiary. We just put it in a big old bucket. And we'll go over here and start stuffing on the Jeep. So what keeps the moss in, a lot of these have mesh. You see right here. And if you see even further past the mesh, you see that it's hollow. So a lot of the topiaries are actually hollow, so these are not completely solid. That just saves us time, energy, money, and it keeps the plants healthy. So we're going to start mossing right here on the hood of the Jeep. So you just take by the handful, just place it, see how much it compresses down. Just got to be mindful where the irrigation is. And put your hands and stuff it, and stuff it down. So this is a piece of paper that we keep track of, like how many bales we use, how many square feet, how many plants we need, when we planted it, when we need to redo it. So just to give you an idea, the Jeep, we need 16 of those bales I showed you. 20 of these bales for the egg. It takes about 7 bales for the grill alone. It still roughly takes about a few weeks to a month, and sometimes even a couple of months for us to stuff the topiaries. The dibble, there's 2 different kinds. You have a thicker kind and a thinner kind. Just depends on what you need. So we also do moss existing topiaries that have moss already in it, just to touch them up. Since we do redo the main every year, it's going to show you on this one. So you need the moss to be very tight. You see how I cannot really push that far in, whereas on the Jeep it was going straight down. I need to look for areas such as that one. So what I'll do is I'll grab my moss, and I'll grab my dibble. So you do not want to do this with your fingers, you get way too tired. And the reason why we have it so tight is so it holds its moisture, so the plants end up using up that water instead of it just evaporating it before we can use it. And that concludes our mossing section on the topiaries. Remember to keep up with your questions, write them down, give them to your teacher, because we will be doing a virtual questionnaire.